All right, problem number 10, the feeder cam. And this one falls under sectionals because you're going to draw it and create a sectional, and I'm going to show you how hard that is to do. So step one is to open your title block. We're going to go over to model space, and we're going to do a save as, the first thing you always want to do. And I'm going to put it into, where is it? There we go, my ACAD folder. And I'm going to call it problem, what is this, problem 10. P10 feeder cam. And of course set my save time to like every 5 or 10 minutes, so now it saves there so I don't lose it. Alright, so we're going to look at the feeder cam that we need to draw, just like any time, and try to figure out what would, if I was drawing this by hand, what would I need to do. So I know that I'm dealing with some circles down here, so I know I'm going to need to find my center lines, because that will give me my point for this outside circle, right? It'll also give me my part of my circle for this upper part here. Then I will need to find this second center point so that I can get this circle, and then draw my keyway. Then everything projects up, and then it's a matter of finding my sizes and dimensions and putting it all in there. So again, anytime I'm drawing something in AutoCAD, I'll look at the drawing and figure out if I'm drawing this by hand, what would I need to do? What would I need to do is the same thing you need to do in AutoCAD, all the same steps. Only we have to tell the computer what to do. So step one, center, and I'm not really worried about where I'm starting it. F8 to turn ortho on so I get a nice straight line. Because I can always go back and extend, trim, etc. these lines, all I need them to. So I'm going to start off by getting my two circles that I know that are right there in the beginning to start with. So I look at it and I know that it has a diameter of 4.8, so I'm going to pick my center point here, because first you tell it what you want it to do. Oh, and if it O-snaps on, remember F9, turn it on, make sure it's on. Remember, type in O-snap to check to see if they're not all coming up. It has a diameter of 4.8. And then the next one has a radius, same center point, there it goes, of 1.68. So it gives me those first circles. Then I need to get my second center point. So I'm going to look and see, and I notice that it's down 0.92 from that center point, so I'm going to offset that 0.92. So I can get my next circle, which has a diameter of 1.18, and then the outside circle for that has a diameter of 2.12. And I know it's a little confusing right now with this. I'm just starting to get my circles to start with. Okay, now to finish this little part here and clean it up, I need to get the down little circle parts here at the end, like at the little cup at the bottom, like the steering wheel, I guess is the best way to describe it, like the crank wheel. So to do that, I need to find my center point. So I know that my center line for it runs on the same line as the center for the circle, but then I need to come in 0.66. So center line outside. I'm going to go ahead and draw one on both sides real quick. If you haven't guessed it yet, a lot of what you do in AutoCAD is more editing than really drawing a lot of times. Remember, escape key, enter, keyboard, those are all your best friends. There we go, okay. So now I'm going to offset that. Oh, that looks like that got off a little bit. No, it didn't, okay. Guess I'm just seeing things, all right. 0.66 over, because that gives me my center points for the circles that need to go there. And those circles have a radius of what? And if I look at the dimensions on it, they have a radius of 0.25. So let's draw a circle off of the center point here. There it goes. 0.25, enter again. Okay, and I'm going to zoom in just a little bit with my mouse there. Okay, the next circle I need to draw has a radius of 1.45, but it's off the lower center line. It's where we drew the other two down here. So radius. And a 1.45. Okay, and I know it looks a little crazy, so let's go ahead and do a little trimming right now to make it a little easier for us. Trim, spacebar. Oh, that's not good. That tells me it doesn't quite touch. Nope, it does not, does it? So that 1.45 may be off, because if you can't trim it, then it's obviously not working. There it goes. So I'm going to zoom in on it, and then I use my snaps to help me get it. There it goes. Much better. And I'm not completely cleaning it up, but all I'm doing is trying to make it a little easier for you to understand what I'm doing, because I know it gets a little crazy. Whoa, you're supposed to be erasing, not trimming that in your head. Go ahead and get rid of these two. Okay, so I use that to help me kind of see the middle part. Now, I need to get the part here that goes down the middle. The way I can find out the size of it is it's equal to the same size as the opening on the Keyway. And if I look at the Keyway, it has a 0.38 by 0.19 opening. So, let's go ahead and create that Keyway, because it's going to help us to create the opening we need here. I'm going to hit F8 to force it to stay nice and... Oh, I love it. I still didn't do it nice and straight. See how it's cockeyed? I want it nice and perfectly horizontal. So from the top of it, out, F8 to turn it on where it's perfect. There it goes. Okay, so I know it's got a total width of 0.38 and it's offset 0.9. So if I do a little math, so divide 0.38 in half, I get 0.9. 0.19 over, and up. Change these to the visible layer. Come on, keep up with me. There it goes. Hit the escape key to get out. Trim, spacebar, clean it up. Going to erase. Ooh, no, and I gotta trim that. Trim, spacebar. There it goes. Sometimes you think you've hit the spacebar and apparently you haven't when it acts screwy. Okay, get rid of these. Okay, now I need to trim and do the same part here. Trim, spacebar. And then, of course, I'm going to erase these extra pieces here. And I may have extra pieces up top that we'll get rid of in a minute. All right, now next here in the corner, we have in these corners we have fillets. So we have those filleted rounds that have a radius of 0.12. So I'm going to go to my fillet tool again, and I'm going to tell it M for multiple, R for radius, 0.12 is the size of the radius. And now I'll start picking my corners. And this is why you trim, because if you don't trim it out and kind of get it the way it kind of needs to be, and then you go to use this fillet tool and it'll actually take away a whole part of a line. So we want to trim and kind of get it looking like we want it to look before we start doing the next step. Okay, so now let's get rid of some of these extra lines that we don't need because they're going to get in our way. Okay, our next step is to get the top view or your frontal plane, or horizontal plane of what this looks like. So I'm going to change it to projection layer, and just like I would do if I was drawing it by hand, I'm going to project those layers up. I'm going to start with the outside piece, and what I know is my inside reference piece. They're on the projection layer because it doesn't matter. And I know I need to offset up 3 because I can look and read the dimension. It says from this center line here up 3 to get the corner. Just to get me that corner to get me started. Okay. So now back to visible. Actually, let's look at it now. See, I have another one that has a 0.93 and a half, so I'm going to offset 0.93 and 1.5. And overall 2.68. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to change it to visible, and I'm going to look at my drawing and go, okay, what am I dealing with? Well, I am dealing with, to start with, visible line there. And I also know that this visible line continues to the center because this is a half section. Okay. So now let's do projection lines again, and let's get some more of those. Actually, let's do this. I really don't need those anymore. I just needed them so that I knew where my widths were. Okay. That does not look good. It does not look good. Remember, is use your tools. Extend spacebar. There it goes. Trim, spacebar. There we go. Okay, back to projection, and I'm going to see where everything lines up to. So I notice that if I'm doing a cut line through here, I'm going to have a line that's going to come off the edge of this opening here, straight up. And I'm also going to have a line coming straight off the opening here, straight up. I have those sames over here. Up. Up. And then from the edge of the keyway, up. So I'm going to go ahead and do the side that we don't see that's to show the hidden lines. So I'm going to have a hidden line because I have a whole opening there. I'm going to have hidden lines here to here because that's going to show the opening of the hole at the bottom plus the opening of the keyway. And this shows the hidden line for the keyway. And I'm going to have, not off the outside, but off the keyway. Speaking of keyway. Up. And then visible lines. Up. And over here. Next, I'm going to show you how to finish this one. Oops, darn it.